Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Well, it is a beautiful morning, but here I am waking up to all of this construction work over here with my neighbor landscaping his pool now. And what you're hearing over there are all the bobcats moving the earth around so that they can lay their soil and plant their trees and whatever. And well, I know he's got to do it, and it won't be forever. So hopefully we can keep the sound good, and hopefully he gets his beautiful garden that he gets to enjoy. Anyway, I am reading some serious articles this morning that are truly mind blowing. And let me tell you this. So, you know how a lot of us have come out and said, look, they're pushing us towards this one world government and this single global order of things and this new world order and the Great Reset. And a lot of fact checkers have come out and said, oh, you guys are just really pushing just a ridiculous narrative. No one really wants that, and on and on and on. Well, guys, just recently, Emmanuel Macron of France gets up on the podium before a whole whack of world leaders and flat out says, we need a single global order. And not to mention that, I have a clip from my prime minister back there when the beginning of the sea dump happened and how it was such a perfect opportunity to aggressively advance their, reset agenda. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to put both of those clips side by each down here so that you guys can see them for yourself.
Are you on the US or the Chinese side? Because now, progressively, a lot of people would like to see there are two orders in this world. This is a huge mistake, even for both the US and China. We need a single global order.
Pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges.
And you cannot make this stuff up. The EU, in another article that I was reading, is pushing for this single identity thing, whereby the whole EU has to comply to a various set of standards in order to promote this, unified single entity idea. And in fact, when Italy had voted in their new government, the EU had come out and said, well, we have tools in our toolbox to make them kind of comply with our agenda. And that is what's truly going on. So when you see this happening, don't kid yourself. These folks out there that are working with the WEF and Emmanuel Macron and also Justin Trudeau are graduates of this whole Klaus Schwab deal. Don't think that they are not really meaning what they say. They mean exactly what they say. And what they want is a total single global order, a one world global order where everything goes through some sort of a, top heavy socialistic style government around the entire globe and affects absolutely everybody. And they want to push the whole digital ID agenda towards that end. And of course, the central bank digital currencies and how they want to program those and attach them to these social credit systems. And that's where I say, if we sit back and just kind of, sit and say nothing, then we acquiesce to all this stuff, and we had better be out there making our voices known and really say enough is enough. We're not wanting to be all the same. I love the variety. I love the fact that there are different cultures around the world with different ideas and different ways of doing things and different ways of approaching problems. I think that is absolutely fantastic. One of the best things about being human beings is the fact that we get to think and have free moral agency. That is a gift from God. That is not something that's given to us by other men. And that's why when you see in the Constitution of, we the people, these are endowments that came right from on high. And who are these people to turn around and say, look, no, you can't do it that way. It has to be our way. We know what that is, guys. We've seen those repressive regimes before. It reminds me of a story I learned when I was a kid. So by and by, we all know that Babylon was an amazingly powerful nation on the earth. In fact, one of the first world empires before the Roman Empire was the Babylonian Empire. Well, they had this one king, and the guy's name was Nebuchadnezzar. Now, Nebuchadnezzar really thought himself to be a god, like a lot of the pharaohs did as well, and what. So anyway, he has this massive statue built up, and he makes it out of solid gold, mind you. And he had all these musicians playing music. And whenever you heard this music play, if you did not bow down and literally worship this golden statue of Nebuchadnezzar, then you could be put to death. Well, there happened to be 3 guys there that were captives of Israel, because Babylon had overcome Israel and brought them in. And these guys' names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they basically said, hey, look, we're not going to bow down. So they hauled them before the king, and the king says, I'm going to give you one last shot. You're going to hear the music play, and if you don't bow down, that's it. I'm throwing you into this big fiery furnace, because they were going to burn them alive. So these guys, and by the way, they were about teenagers at the time, they said something absolutely remarkable, amazing, truly. And they said, look, our God is able to deliver us, but we want you to know, O king, even if he doesn't, we're still not going to bow down. And boy, this just set him off. He made that furnace so hot that when they threw them in, the guards that threw them in literally perished by the flames. But as it turned out, God showed up. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't die. And when Nebuchadnezzar was looking down in there to see them suffer, he said, look, did we throw 3 men in? And they said, yeah, it was 3. He said, well, why do I see 4? And the 4th one looks like the Son of God. God sent an angel down in there and preserved them. Now that's, the Bible story, and I believe it. But listen to what they said. Our God's able to deliver us, but even if he doesn't, we won't bow down. Now, whether you're a believer in God or not, the fact of the matter is, these guys were so convicted of their beliefs that they were not going to cave, and they would face death if that's what it took before they would capitulate. Now, we have gotten a world of a whole generation that has been raised just to accept whatever spoons are put in their mouths. And I'm telling you, that's where this generation, we've got to stand up and say, look, this is what it looks like to stand up for what you believe in and not to bow down. Thank God for the patriots who decided to say no more. And literally, you wouldn't have the United States, you wouldn't have the Great Britain, or as it is right now, you would not have many of these democratic countries in the world, including France and including Germany and different ones, if people finally didn't stand up and said, absolutely no way, we are not going to bow down. And that's what it's going to take. Resolve, conviction. And we got to bring those types of values back into our society and fight back, because who wants to have this agenda of literally being pushed into a mold, and if you don't comply, well, we're going to put you away somewhere. You're just not going to be participating in this. And, we're not, you know how it was when your parents and they ground you to their room? Well, these guys have a room for us, boys. Don't kid yourself. Anyway, on top of that, I was also reading an article, respect to J.P. Morgan. And so J.P. Morgan has just received on November 15th of 2022, they just got a patent for their J.P. Morgan wallet. That's where they can store virtual currencies, they can custody assets, they can do this, and this. Ask yourself something, guys. Isn't it a coincidence that this whole FTX thing is going down while the whole JP Morgan and the Goldman Sachs and the BlackRocks and all the big, custody houses and stuff like that, and all the traditional rails are starting to rise up and getting all their approvals in place? Look, I'm telling you, they're going to be herding us into that whole, traditional system of having a broker interact with the exchange and having someone else custody the assets. I'm telling you, as sure can be, that is what I believe is going to be transpiring. Truly something else. Now, having said that about FTX, I just read another article this morning where there were investigators investigating FTX long before the collapse. Now, if that's the case, and I truly believe that it is, then in fact, They knew that this was coming down the pike. And where's the SEC protecting the retail investors? There was not one whistleblower, not one alarm, not nothing. They let the whole house of cards fall, and that says to me that they were somewhere in the mix there. I don't know how. That is just my supposition, but it truly makes me believe it even all the more. So that's that. It is truly mesmerizing what's going on right out in front of everything. They used to do all this stuff clandestine, right? Behind closed doors and whatever. Well, these guys have such audacity and such boldness. They'll do it right in front of your face and say, well, there you go, eat it. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. So, wow. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a great day. It is a beautiful morning, by the way. Just look at the beautiful trees, the clouds, the air smells clean. Life is good, no doubt about that. Anyway, I have a great video planned for us later on today. I can't wait for you guys to see it and share it. We're going to just have a great one. Anyway, until then, I hope your day goes well and take care.